Today's Japanese slang term is biuaki, which literally means a little bi-uaki. An affair is in a romantic one, cheating. As in, you can have a little affair as a treat, which is not true. Do not betray the trust of your partner. Anyway, I was asked to investigate this term, which leaves us with two questions. One, of course, what does it mean? How is it used as Japanese slang? And two, how did this person find this word? Because as far as I can tell, this is an incredibly obscure term. It exists, but like Google Trends has no data for it. It's not in the Pixiv dictionary or the Nico or any of the other sites that I often use to get some kind of base footing for this. Indeed, Google returns less than 75 hits for the entire internet throughout its history. Now, Google is not a perfect search. I found at least 100 plus hits on Twitter, but while I will be able to explain to you what biuaki means in this video, I cannot explain where it's actually used to the extent that somebody would find it and ask me about it, especially somebody who's not Japanese. But let me go through what I found and kind of how I found it. So while Google returned basically no useful results, I was able to quickly find random posts like this on Twitter. But like, how is this a small affair? I don't know. So I just decided, look, I'm going to go and search by date, read the posts year by year, and try to find out what's going on. Try to look for some kind of context that helps me understand what this term could mean. So uses of biuaki in Japanese start around 2011. There are 4 of them, and the problem is there's no real context here whatsoever. Like the first person talks about doing a biuaki and then returning to someone named Ono. Who is that? I don't know. I can't find a media product that references them. The second person's reference of Tenboruto-san is also the same. I don't know who that is. The third person gives us a hint of maybe something as they mention cheating on Megurine, which is a Vocaloid software. But the problem is the person that is described as doing the cheating, somebody named Yoshikawa, doesn't seem to exist. They're not like a Vocaloid producer that I'm really aware of, so I also can't tell you what this means. And then the final one talks about some kind of demon wife Henry and like buying a crying otaku, and I just don't understand what it's talking about. Moving through the data year to year though, there wasn't any real context until all of a sudden, in 2014, people started posting things that were useful. And the first post that I found was this one here. Now, if you can't tell what's going on, this is basically like lottery ticket for idol you like. And as you can see, the person has bought tickets for the same person pretty much every single time. And that person is Mizuki Tsuchiyasu of AKB48. But one time they bought a ticket instead for Nana Okada. And they refer to this as doing a little cheating. And here, it seems like from context what this means is doing something to support somebody who is not your normal oshi, not your normal bias, the person that you normally go for. And this gives us a potential way to understand that Vocaloid one as whoever Yoshikawa is, we don't know, but there's a possible interpretation there that they normally use a different Vocaloid software, but they started using the other one just a bit, and the person's wondering if they're doing a little cheating using a singer who's not the normal singer they use. These kind of clear examples continue into 2015. The image I showed you earlier is the first image I saw using this word, but that's a character from the game Cosmic Break, which is a game that allows you to kind of choose characters, so there's a potential implication here that they're playing a character they don't normally play, and so they're doing a little cheating on their normal character. And we can see another clear example in this interaction here, where somebody notes that 2 characters from the visual novel Amnesia are, quote, waiting for your chocolate, but notes that a separate third character is their actual favorite. In response to this, next person notes, I believe, I'm not like a visual novel person, but I think they're saying that normally like the character Ren from the game Uta no Purinsu, but secretly also like the game's Brothers Conflict and Suki Uta. The original poster then replies that this is like a little affair, playing games that aren't your favorite, such as these days when I play anything that's not social. As the years progress though, these kind of examples grow and grow to the point where, especially around 2022, it's really easy to find examples that are incredibly straightforward and very clear. This person, for instance, notes that they used the Pokemon Glaceon when they should have used the Pokemon Aegislash. I don't know enough Pokemon to understand why, but I'm guessing it's just stronger in that context. And then a person replying to them calls this decision to use Glaceon a little bit of cheating, biuaki. And the original poster continues the metaphor by stating that while Aegislash is their favorite, they sometimes have to touch other girls. Even more straightforward, here in 2023, someone says that they're normally a drummer, but they're going to do a little bit of cheating by playing their guitar. And in a similarly straightforward manner, this fan of Aspa notes that they normally stand Gazelle, but because they are, quote, too bright right now, they're going to stand Ning Ning for a bit, and that is going to be a little bit of cheating. So that's ultimately how this term is used. It's not a big term, but the slangy use is out there to mean when you are doing something you don't normally do, such as standing a different idol, using your non-favorite character in a game, or even playing your non-favorite game, watching your non-favorite media. That's a bit of cheating on your favorite thing. That said, there are uses of this term just to mean a little bit of cheating, as in actual cheating. What this means is kind of depending on the post. I've seen people use it to refer to like kisses or even just like wandering eyes, but other people just use it to mean like a one-night stand instead of like a long prolonged cheating thing. For instance, one of the hits I did get off Google is a saved interaction from a Japanese forum wherein somebody is posting about how they were cheating and they got caught, and they basically ran out of their apartment and they can't go back because their girlfriend is in the apartment really, really angry. And basically throughout this thread, they're begging for help, but because it's like a 2chan style Japanese net forum, everyone's just making fun of them and making their life harder. And during this interaction, poster 35 says, oh yeah, I've been in a similar situation. The OP takes the bait and says, oh, so yeah, this is a very common thing, right? How did you deal with it? And then poster 35, or someone pretending to be poster 35, then replies by saying, oh, just tell them it's a little affair, which of course is going to go very, very well, and I'm sure will solve the problem. Likewise, this person here is talking about how they're happy that Yuri anime are becoming more popular, there's more of them, but note that Biyuwaki and heavy developments are increasing and they're not a big fan of that. So here, the Biyuwaki just means like small affairs that are happening. They want the couple to be faithful to each other, and they're upset when that is not the case. Indeed, I've even found Biyuwaki in parentheses, kind of like laughter, etc., to note cases where you're doing something that, from your perspective at least, is not a huge violation of trust, but still could get you in a lot of trouble. So, thanks for the recommendation. Next time it'd be great if you asked me to define a word that somebody else has noticed, but I hope at least the person who asked me this question encounters this video, and I'll be back next time with another slang review, unless I do a little bit of cheating.